Acceptance frees you, gives you peace, brings you to the present, and leads you to action. Welcome to Clichés Reinvented, reinventing life's clichés, a space where I'm going to share information, thoughts, and insights to help us both live a life in consciousness. These are reflections that have helped me with my personal growth and to live happier and more conscious. This is why now I want to share them with you. I want to thank you for being here today and taking the time to listen to this podcast while you're walking in your car, walking your dog on the way to work, to study, whatever you're doing. Thank you for being here today with me and with yourself. The magic of accepting. Unfortunately, people often confuse or misunderstand the term acceptance. It is usually related to the resignation or stay with your arms crossed and do nothing to face situations that arise in life, or letting things pass by even if they are not okay, when in fact it is quite the opposite. To accept is to realize things, to realize the situation that surrounds us, comprehend it, see it from the outside, and then you can accept it. You accept it as it is. That's it. Acceptance is an ability that comes from love, the love that we have for ourselves and for the world. When we accept, we are really aware of the situation. We understand our role in it. We understand what's happening. Then comes the reflection. How am I part of this? What can I do to change this situation in case you're not really comfortable with it? But remember, everything, always everything, begins by accepting it. It's like, okay, I've got this, it is what it is. Now, what can I do next? What comes next? However, how can we pretend to do something if we are not even aware of what is it that it's happening at this moment? We are not aware of what we must change, of what needs adjustments or improvements, and it's just not possible. Acceptance, just as manifestation, is present on all levels. Acceptance, like everything, starts from the inside out. The first thing we must do is accept ourselves. Accept ourselves just as we are. Give ourselves that love that we cannot expect to receive from the outside world. That love that begins with us, for us. When we achieve to accept ourselves, we can understand us much better, understand our own behavior, get to know us better. Then comes accepting our life as it is, accepting and value all the benefits that we have around us, and thus the situations with which we may not feel that much comfortable at this moment. Because they are existing, they are shaping our present, our now. They are what they are at this moment, and we must get something out of them. If we do not dedicate enough time to accept them and assimilate them, we will never be able to change them. In this same way that we must accept ourselves as we are, we must accept the people around us with their defects and virtues. We must accept their behavior. And wait, this does not mean that we will ignore it, or that even though it is wrong, do nothing about it, or that it doesn't hurt us and we become weak who let themselves do whatever. No. It's just accepting what is happening, being able to watch the situation from the outside, understanding that each person acts from what he or she really is, from the bases that make up their thinking, their way of seeing life, from what they believe is right or wrong. And this corresponds to each person, not to me. Their words or actions show what each one really is, not what I am, not what we are. and we should not feel responsible for what others do or feel terribly affected. And this is really not easy. Believe me, we all know that it's easier to speak than to act, but I'm saying it because it is indeed possible. Maybe it happens that in the first few seconds it's like everything explodes, I'm filled with resentment, bad thoughts inside myself. But then, as soon as I realize the negative energy that it's arising on my inside, I tackle my emotions. I come back to my center to ask myself, is it really worth it? Am I these thoughts? Do they really represent who I am? Is it really me? And then you begin to distance yourself from it and start seeing it from the outside. And you understand that everyone acts from what he or she is. And this has nothing to do with me, with us. If we are not able to reflect on this, we are not able to change and to see what there is inside us and what are we giving to receive what we are receiving. And listen to this again because it's so important. What there is inside us and what are we giving to receive what we are receiving. The things that we like the least are the ones that we must work on the most to accept because they are here to teach us something. They are the ones that make us grow the most because we have been able to understand the flow of life, to understand that everything has a reason and that what you do actually counts. When we manage to accept them, recognize them, and comprehend them, they will fade because unconsciously you not only stay in accepting it, but you will take action. You will go to the I can deal with this. I can do something about it. We accept change, the flow of life. We do not continue to interpret situations in a superficial way, but we look within ourselves for change, for the solution. You realize what your role is and what you're able to do. Always and always we can do something without going against life. It is worth remembering that the action will never be to change others. To try to change the outside world without changing myself first is not possible. It is the action that I carry within me and my actions towards the outside world that have an impact. Change must always start with yourself. And we criticize and get frustrated seeing all the violence that occurs in the world, how our mother earth is getting destroyed, how there are so many social and environmental problems. But do you stop to think, how am I part of the problem? In the same way that I am part of the solution? It will always be easier to criticize and complain about how nothing is right. But at the end, this changes absolutely nothing. What really counts are our own actions, and these are born from the inside out. Be the change you want to see in the world. And I'm sure you've already heard it from Mahatma Gandhi. But if not, how else we pretend that things are going to change for the better? For example, we criticize the violence that exists in the world, but have you taken the time to think and being aware of how you are behaving within your circle? What are you giving? Starting with the treatment you give to yourself, what you give in your home, how you relate to others, how you live your life. If love is not the answer, it's not surprising why your mind, thoughts, and your life is so connected to everything bad that's happening in the world and how we do nothing to change it. Remember that I'm not referring to actions that are out of our control, because we think that the only thing that changes the world is money and big things. But these are really actions that are small, that seem to be small but are actually not. To these actions that we can carry out, that each of us can do, over which we do have the power and control. It is incredible to witness the magic of accepting, to see how, through this great ability that we are all born with, but that many are not capable of developing, how it can improve our lives to nameless levels. Accepting may not be easy at the beginning, as there are aspects and situations that are more difficult to accept than others, but we are all capable of doing it, even if it represents itself as a challenge at first. Although we must accept difficult situations, we must also accept and realize how many benefits and blessings we have in our life. Accept them and be grateful for them. Not continue to live without realizing how lucky have we been to have a house, a home, to have food on your table. Sometimes we live so automatically that we forget to accept and appreciate all the good things that life has for us. However, we all have the free will, so we can choose to accept things just the way they are, understand how am I part of the problem and part of the solution, and what can I do from my place as an individual, from what I am and what I have within my reach, or simply playing crazy, going against life, ignoring what is really happening, and living in constant stress and chaos that will never let us move forward. Remember that acceptance and all change, every change, starts from the inside out. Thank you for arriving here. I want to invite you to follow Clichés Reinvented on Instagram. It's clichés underscore re underscore invented, a space that I've created to connect more with you guys, to talk, share our opinions, and create a community more and more beautiful with beautiful people. If you like this audio, share it and invite more people to join in living a more conscious life. Don't forget to subscribe and leave a like if you enjoyed what you heard. Thank you.